Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to German homes, how the Germans live. This should be a really interesting video because we haven't watched too much about what German homes are like, what German neighborhoods are like, things of that nature. So I'm hoping this is going to be a learning video and we're going to learn a lot in it. Thank you all so much for your support on yesterday's video with your advice on places to visit, your own personal anecdotes, and just taking my best interest into account. So thank you all so much for that. And if you haven't watched that video, make sure you check it out, as we do have an impending trip to Germany, hopefully this summer. But yeah, guys, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and let's get right into this.
Did you know that in German addresses, the street name comes first and then the number, and the postcode or zip code comes before the city? And check out the doorbells, no number, and the
That's different.
postcode or zip code comes before the city. And check out the doorbells, no numbers. Instead, they're labelled with the surnames of the people living there, which
What?
strikes me as slightly unusual for this privacy-loving nation. Anyway, for today's episode, we're at home with the Germans. German homes come in all shapes and sizes. They also have pretty logical names. A house at the end of a row of houses is called an end of the row house, or ein Endhaus. A house where one family lives is called a one-family house, Einfamilienhaus. Large houses split up into several apartments are called Mehrfamilienhäuser, or multi-family houses, and that's the most common type of home here. As I've told you before, Germans usually know the exact measurements of their home in square meters. The average German home is a little over 90 square meters, for 2 people. 5 million Germans live in a WG or Wohngemeinschaft, that's shared accommodation, and only 0.5% of households have 3 or more generations living under one roof.
Wow.
Cold rent means without bills, and warm rent includes costs for certain utilities and services. Germany has long been a nation of renters. Less than half the population owns their own home, and in some larger cities that drops to a quarter. This is in part a hangover from recent history. During the war, a lot of private property was destroyed, so rental apartment blocks were built as a quick fix. In East Germany, people rarely had the option of purchasing their own property, and state-owned property was heavily subsidised. These days, some people prefer the flexibility of renting. Germans do, after all, move an average of 6 times in their life, but most people cite spiralling house prices and hefty deposits as the main hurdle to owning their own home. That being said, renting isn't always a particularly cheap alternative. In Munich, renters are shelling out around 17 euros per square metre. Berlin has introduced a controversial 5-year rent freeze to try and get its prices under control. And some people are getting creative, shunning traditional living models in favour of houseboats, campervans, communal living projects, or tiny houses.
Ein Tiny House ist ein kleines Häuschen, meistens aus Holz gebaut, zwischen 10 und 20 Quadratmeter auf
What?
Rädern, auf einem Pkw-Anhänger. Ist aber auch eine Bewegung. Ja, ist eine Bewegung, die vor ungefähr 15 Jahren in Kalifornien in den USA eingesetzt hat.
Und wie ist es dann nach Deutschland gekommen?
Of course, California, bro. Of course. I shouldn't have even. That is a cool idea. I just don't think that would be for me, but I'm sure a lot of people have said that and have ended up getting the tiny house. So you can't rule something out until you try it, I guess. But it does seem a bit daunting to live in such a small space. I mean, look at this.
Kleines Häuschen, meistens aus Holz gebaut, zwischen
Like, that is crazy. Damn. The history does make sense, but it's still just so surprising to hear, like, how high the proportion of renters are in Germany. It's just still shocking to hear that there's a lack of homeowners. But I mean, it makes sense. It's not like I'm confused as to why that is. It's just, wow, it's a lot of renters.
gesetzt hat.
Und wie ist es dann nach Deutschland gekommen?
In Deutschland gab es ja schon immer durch diese Kleingärten eine Tiny House Affinität. Deutsche und auch Holländer, die ja sehr viel Camping machen und Caravaning, die haben eine hohe Sympathie für kleine Räume.
Welche Vorteile bietet ein Tiny House?
Wenn wir nicht mehr so viel Platz beanspruchen, können wir nicht mehr so viel kaufen. Wenn alle Menschen auf einmal in Holzgebäude leben würden, hätten wir nicht so eine CO2-Katastrophen. Und wenn wir nicht mehr in anonymen Hochhäusern leben wollen, sondern eher in kleineren Strukturen, dann ist das soziale Miteinander auch ein anderes.
Anyway, back to the status quo for now. Here are my personal picks for a few things that make a home very German. House shoes, bottled water, sparkling of course, weird little mini forks for cake. If the cakes aren't mini, then why are the forks? Solid roller blinds that block out every last scrap of light. One of these retro-looking wooden measuring sticks. A cellar with caged-off storage spaces. A beloved balcony. That's the most sought-after home feature. 2 duvets, very practical. And unwieldy, squashy, frankly ridiculous square pillows. Newcomers often have a few surprises when they move into their first place in Germany. First of all, don't expect a house or flat to be furnished, even if you're renting. And the biggest shock of all might come when you enter the kitchen. Yep, it's totally normal to take your entire kitchen with you when you move. Counters, cooker, sink, everything. One good thing about moving here is that it's a team effort. It's absolutely the done thing to enlist the help of all your friends. The only payment required is beer, pizza, and the knowledge that you'll return the favour. Of course, it wouldn't be Germany without a good set of rules. The small print in
the moving out the kitchen, is that really, like, is that practical? I don't know. I feel like the places should just have the kitchen as part of the rent, right? So it just stays, and then most apartments have kitchens built into them, so then no one has to worry about taking them out. Let me know about that, guys, because it seems like a big pain to have to take out all those, the dishwasher, the countertops, the refrigerator, the sink, all of that. I mean, I guess you could do that. It just seems like yeah, I guess. Damn. That's a lot of work, though.
Knowledge that you'll return the favour. Of course, it wouldn't be Germany without a good set of rules. The small print in a rental contract can include such gems as the exact level of noise you're allowed to make, how often you have to air your flat out, and the requirement to repaint every room a neutral colour upon your departure. If you've noticed anything else about the German way of living,
that's a repaint. What?
Leave me a comment below. Thanks for dropping by.
The amount of noise you're allowed to make. So I want to. Germany has some crazy rules. Just like, what is that? How is that going to be enforced? If you're making too much noise, what happens? Like what? Someone will come over and knock on the door. Is it like a communal thing and people are like, oh, that's too much noise? The neighbors will get mad at you? Or what is that about? And what is too much noise? How is that measured? Would it be a singular sound of like you dropping a pot? Or would it be, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That seems a bit ludicrous compared to what I'm used to. And that wasn't the first time I've heard of something like that. I remember we were reacting to like German laws, and one of them was you can't play certain instruments at certain hours or for more than certain hours each day. And I have mixed feelings on that. Like, is it really that loud? Like, especially if you have your own house, I don't know. It's just a lot different than the stuff I'm used to, like noise rules and things like that. It's usually just try and be as, nice as possible to others and don't be too loud. But it's never like written into the contract like that. And repainting the walls and wow, it's definitely some repainting the walls too. That would be crazy. Usually for us, it's like anything past normal wear and tear has to be paid for by the tenants. But I don't think I've ever heard of anyone having to repaint their walls when they leave. I don't know. Again, I haven't rented too much. Currently rent right now, but I haven't rented much outside of this, so I can't give like a full United States renter's perspective, but definitely a bit different. Definitely a bit different. So let me know if you guys are currently living in apartments or you have in the past. What has your experience been like in Germany? Do you think they make it nice for renters, or do you think it's a pain and too many rules? Let me know in the comments. And the noise thing would be nice, I guess, now that I think about it, because you don't have to worry about others making noise, but it just seems like a lot of rules to me. Anyways, just something I'm not used to, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Anyways, guys, have a good one. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.